Hello, I am Super Orange Cat, and here I am today to talk about Toonami's ratings from August 22nd, 2020. Let's start with the top of the block. At the top of the block, we have Batham Gotham Knight pulling in a .27, and then after that, at 1:45, we had Batman Dark Knight Returns Part 2 at a .22. Overall, this week really held well with what last week did. In fact, if you combine the ratings, it was actually slightly better than last week. And that's something really continuing the trend of Batman really being a good pull for the block. And more I think about it, I think Toonami did kind of blow an opportunity by not finding a way to get Batman the animated series onto the block. But I digress. But really, you really can't say too much about this week other than as you can see. Well, I'm going to show a bit later here that Batman Gotham Knight actually was the sixth highest rated cable premiere of the night, and Dark Knight Returns Part 2 is the eighth highest. Another good night where both entities on the block ended up in the overall top 10. They got pushed down a bit because of the NBA playoffs and more UFC, which historically always far outperformed Toonami. And yeah, and it's gonna be interesting to see how things go next week. We're back to a quote unquote regular schedule next week, with the one notable change being bye bye Ball Masters. Everything everything behind it gets shifted up a spot. Not everything behind it gets shifted up a spot. What happens is that the two what we're gonna happen here is basically the schedule is Dragon Ball Super, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind, the new show, Assassination Classroom, or as I love to call it, Ass Room. And then after that, you have Black Clover, then you have Naruto, and then you have Samurai Jack. So that's going to be interesting to see how those do, with the interest being in the middle of the block where you have Assassination Classroom making its debut. And it is very hard to put a prediction on what it's going to do because the general reception online for this is positive, and it was the type of show I said Tanami should get, one that's somewhat older, fully dubbed, but has a good number of episodes to it, so it's not like you have to immediately replace it. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Assassination Classroom is like 40 something episodes. That feels wrong, but it could be the right number. Again, if that's true, then you have something to plug up the schedule for full year, which is really what Tanami is really all about at this point. So that solves one problem for the foreseeable future. And we've got more Black Clover episodes have been dubbed by Funimation. I believe 3 different episodes have been dubbed by Funimation the last 3 or 4 weeks or so. So we do have a bit of a buffer there again that we were about to exhaust before the break with the Batman movies. And other than that, Ball Masters is now no longer on the block. It had 2 episodes to air. It never aired on the block. So add that to the list of Toonami shows that never finished its run on the block, albeit it's finished its run plenty of times on main Adult Swim. And that's gonna be interesting to see again, top of the block. And really, it's hard to put a number, like I said, on Assassination Classroom. What I think is that it will be the type of show that holds serve, but won't necessarily further the block in terms of ratings. You know, it's gonna be more like a Mob Psycho situation where you can point out and be like, it did pretty well, but can't say anything about it that it saves the block or that it adds more to the block in terms of ratings than before. Again, at this point, that's really just Dragon Ball Super's job, being the leadoff show. But again, it's gonna be interesting to see. If I had to throw a number behind Assassination Classroom, I'm gonna guess it will debut to a .18. Although I feel like it might be a little bit lower than that. But that's my prediction, and I'm almost always wrong for it. So expect me to be off by 500ths of a point there. And I mean, there really isn't that much to say about this week because it's about something that's not going to last. I mean, there's going to be no more Batman movies for foreseeable future, and unless it's something Warner owned, I don't think Adult Swim's going to do not Adult Swim. That Toonami's going to do more Toonami movie nights because acquiring the rights to movies are actually quite expensive relative to TV shows, and the fact that you can't get much use out of it because you can only really just air it for 1 week, and it's not really a lot of bang for the buck, which is part of the reason why. I mean, we haven't seen Akira in a few years. I mean, I think we saw Akira like some years back. And before that, I think the last actual movie to air on Toonami was Mind Game back April Fools of 2018. And that got overshadowed by the surprise sub debut of Fully Cooley Alternative. But again, movies are they're not going to be the way forward for Toonami. Don't expect many of these anymore, even with these very solid ratings we got from Batman. And again, the only downside I can see is Toonami not really stepping up to the plate and making the move to try to reacquire Batman the animated series. I don't know if they would have to pay for it because I still think Warner owns the rights to it. I could be wrong there, and if Warner owns the rights to it, then they could at the very least get it at a discount, right? If not outright free, which is kind of like the same situation of Genlock a year or so ago, where they got it for free from Rooster Teeth because Rooster Teeth, like Adult Swim slash Toonami, is owned by Time Warner. So, and again, it's me interesting to see. Again, really, there's not much to talk about. Just what do you think Assassination Classroom is going to do next week? Leave your comments, leave your opinions down below. If you like this content, if you like me rambling about anime like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Super Orange Cat, and that is all.